Koala Sampler versus the KO2 by Teenage Engineering. So I have in front of me, as you can see, Koala Sampler loaded up. I have the KO2, which I recently got my hands on. Before I kind of talk about these two, I want to kind of just preface it and kind of give a little bit of background, right? So Koala Sampler to me currently is my favorite way to sample, period. It just works so well. It's super simple and it's just very, very good. I love it. When I found out about this being invented or being released about, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so, I have a vlog on my channel talking about a trip to New York City that I took to meet with some folks from TE, and that's where I found out that this was coming out. And when I found that out, it was at a time where I was really curious about the workflow of hardware versus software. Excuse me. I really was just intrigued with it, and I'm like, wow, okay, a sampler from my favorite company, Teenage Engineering, like I'm super excited about it. Got my hands on it, had it for not long enough to be able to talk, you know, detailed about it. There's a lot of great videos, Sanwoo and Cuckoo. I've been watching quite a few of their videos. So this is definitely not going to be anything close to a deep dive on how to use this. Perhaps as I continue learning how to use it, and if it speaks to me musically, and if I really enjoy it, then such videos will, you know, come out on the channel. But today I wanted to kind of just talk a little bit about these two. Like, I know this extensively and I know this somewhat, and I kind of wanted to start off actually and say that Koala Sampler, one thing that I don't like about Koala, and has nothing to do with the app, more so the platform, is the fact that there is no way to do line-in sampling within Koala Sampler without using an external device. Like if I have this right here, I can connect it and then I can sample that way, right? You can connect something through here and use it as an interface, but you can't sample directly on here, right? Because it's only one USB. I feel like, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud here, but if the new iPad Pros that come out, if they do have two USB-C ports on them, then I could see a scenario where, you know, connecting directly with one USB-C port to wherever you're sampling from, and then the other one to your headphones. Like, that's a workflow that could work, but then that requires, you know, additional purchase and all that kind of stuff. So the screen recording functionality, I don't like that workflow at all. It's not inspiring. It's not what I just don't like it. I want to be able to have something connected like this input and then chop with whatever's being played directly on there. And so, yeah, from my perspective, let's actually go ahead and play a song on here real quick that I created. Let's hit play. It's a really amazing app. It's a really amazing app with that one limitation. That's a pretty big limitation to me. That's part of the reason why I don't use it that much anymore. Excuse me. Just woke up. Yes. Okay. But yeah, so it's just a really, really fun app. There's a ton of videos that I've done on my channel about Koala, and I encourage you guys to check it out if you're not familiar, which I'm sure if you're watching this, I would imagine you are familiar. Now, for me, the big question is the KO2 something that I could see myself having nearly as much fun using to sample as Koala? And the answer to that question is I have no idea. I'm still learning it. And I'm in a place now, you know, musically and creatively, where I'm starting to understand more and more as the days go on, the detriments to introducing too many different ways of making music into your workflow. It's a very, very important thing. Perhaps I'll make a video sooner than later kind of talking about that a bit more. But essentially, if you have a workflow that works well for you musically and creatively, and it's not even just getting the job done, but it's keeping you inspired, it's keeping you feeling motivated and creative and all that stuff, then it's pretty important to make sure that you're leaning into that and utilizing that workflow more often than being introduced to new things. Now, there's a caveat to that. If you're a content creator like myself and the Dylan Parises of the world, Cuckoo, just everyone out there, Henny the Business, I shouldn't be name dropping, but y'all know what I'm saying, right? If you're someone who makes content, even Loop Hop, right? And Red Beans Recording and all these guys out there who are super talented and super inspiring, and I get inspired from watching their stuff, then it's a little bit different, right? Because in a way, your brand and what you're bringing to the table has a lot to do with introducing things and new things to your audience. And that's why I'm excited to kind of get to know this piece of equipment a bit more. But in my few days of using it, I've created some things on it, and I want to see like what I could say about it that I really, really like so far. Like, for example, I was doing some line in stuff with my phone, and I was using, this methodology of getting a 20-second sample from my phone, YouTube Music or whatever that I'm sampling. And then, like, at first I was like, oh, I have to like create a whole bunch of samples. This is like a rudimentary thing. Like, if you've been using this, you know that this is not the right way to do it, but created a whole bunch of samples and then have the different chops be on different sample slots. But there, of course, is a chop button here, right? So you could chop one sample onto different pads. And I guess, excuse me, I guess one of the things that I'm kind of figuring out still is, and this is more of a just sampling workflow, right? But how to get the timing right. So I know that if you sample something in, like, let me try to find something here and kind of see if I can kind of work through this. So last night, for example, I guess we'll go here. Nope. Let's see if I want to go to like an empty pattern. This seems empty. So if I go to sound, and I think if I go Shift plus, all right. Okay. I thought maybe I deleted. Oh, I think I deleted the sample, because I think here, if I go to sound edit and I go to trim. Oh no, hang on. Okay, so I do have it. So this is cool. So I have this 16.6 second sample. And if I wanted to chop this, couple things. I'm kind of like doing this off the cuff a little bit, but if I wanted to, I guess, listen to this. Ooh, but now it's probably going to be demonetized, right? If I'm sampling. Ew, I don't want that to happen on this video. Okay, wait. All right. So let me just kind of talk through this here really quick. Subsequent video, we'll do this a little bit better. But essentially, I have a 16.6 second long sample of H-Town, knocking the boots, if you recognize that for the first few seconds. So I would hold Shift and press this button. It's going to initiate the sample, like start playing it. And then what I notice is, like, you can tap these buttons in rhythm to create chop points, right? And then you have this sample like laid out nicely on the pad. So that's the first thing. Additionally, if you go back into like just the sound mode, so there's like sound and then there's edit. So if you're just in sound mode and then you turn these two knobs, one of these is going to change the volume and the other one's going to change the pitch. So when you change the pitch, then when you do chop, it's going to chop that particular pitch. So for me, as I'm thinking out loud, you would want some kind of drum beat started, right? So let's see, tempo. Let's bring this down. In a way, I wish the knobs were endless, because sometimes you have to like go up to go back and stuff like that. But you know, there's concessions that need to be made in something like this. I should also say, yesterday I was, and again, this whole workflow as a piano player, as someone, you know, musically with chords, my artist name is Khordmaster, right? So I'm thinking like, all right, let me connect a MIDI keyboard and then let me load some of these melodic sounds and let me try playing chords with those sounds. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this is polyphonic, right? I think that's the whole point of a sampler. I think samplers, I guess, usually aren't. I mean, I know I can do polyphonic stuff on here, but at first I was like, oh, that's kind of limiting, right? Because I can't make the type of stuff that I like making. But yesterday I was also thinking about line in, and again, another thought, line into my piano and then playing chords or playing stuff and then sampling that. But I think that you have to be holding a button in order to like record a sample. I could be mistaken about that. Actually, no, that's probably not the case, maybe, right? Because if you hit sample and you had line in there, I think if you turn this level, not the level, but I guess one of these, right? The threshold, I think this is threshold, THR. If you turn this all the way down, I think if I just press, I think you have to press and hold. Test mic check 1 2. Yeah. Did it go? Oh, we're still in that mode. Test mic check 1. Yeah, so you have to hold. So unless if I'm thinking out loud, maybe there's a shift and then press, and maybe that keeps it going. Let's find out. Test mic check. No. Test mic check. Yeah, it doesn't work. Okay, so that won't work the way that I'm kind of thinking. But yeah, the fun thing about this is that I suppose being a fan of and a user of a lot of equipment from this company, from TE, there's a high probability that this is going to, also I'm just noticing my levels are a little bit louder than, I think it's fine. It's not going to red. There's a high probability that that once I do learn it, I'm going to enjoy the workflow. And that's something that is, that's important, right? So let's kind of do like, I don't know, let's come in here. So there's also this FX section here, right? So there's like you playing. So as I'm doing these effects, I'm like, oh, this is a lot of fun. I use the OPZ a lot, and you can sequence these punch-in effects, which I, again, don't think you can do on here. Let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. And I think ultimately, as I keep this video somewhat short, how much time is this? 13? Yeah, we'll probably like kind of get ready to wrap up a little bit here as I get ready to record a subsequent video. But I think ultimately what I'm kind of curious about is for the people out there, I'm thinking like of be jamming since birth, my man Benjamin, who's making some content on YouTube, doing some great stuff. So check him out if you guys haven't. But I think that I would like to know, for people who have used both of these, let's say extensively or a good amount, who have a good understanding of Koala Sampler and what it can do and what it can't do. And with this, like, what are your thoughts on which one speaks to you more? Not which one is better, but which one speaks to you more? Because ultimately, I think that's the question. It's about like which one is more creatively energizing for you, you know, as a person. I was actually going to do this same video with my iPad mini, right? And I had it connected, and then I was like, wait, where's Koala Sampler in here? So I actually deleted it from my iPad because I started, well, I shouldn't even say I started. I plan to start using it on my iPhone, and was kind of like actually removing things on the iPad that I could do just as well, kind of on the iPhone, and seeing what that workflow looks like, because I have the 15 Pro Max, and so you know, that's why I'm using the phone here instead. But yeah, sound off in the comments below. Let me know if you use both of these, which one you prefer, and if you use one of them, let me know which one that you use more. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video, and we'll take it we'll we'll leave it at that, rather. Let's click this scene here, and definitely like and subscribe if you haven't already. And appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.